The best way to Halong Bay. There's a lot of noise out there about how to go about doing a Halong Bay cruise, with variations in length, destination, and ship. As a family of five, we had an amazing experience on the Dragon Legend for a 2 night cruise. We did a lot of research ahead of time about choosing the right situation for us, and we wanted to help you understand how to make the best decision for yourself and let you know who will thrive with this kind of itinerary.
Okay, let's start things off by talking about the duration of the cruise. The Dragon Legend offers both 1 and 2 night cruise options, and there's conflicting advice online about this. However, we felt it was a no brainer. 2 days is the way to go. No matter how you slice it, it is a journey to get on the boat, but one that we found well worth it. The trip consists of a multiple hour shuttle and a tender boat journey each way from Hanoi, although it was an electric bus. Due to this large commitment of time, we personally strongly feel the time investment would only be worthwhile for a 2 night stay on board.
Alright, first let's jump into activities and outings. We had nothing but amazing things to say about the activities provided to the guests on the ship. On our 2 night trip, here's what we got to experience. We had a guided sampan boat ride through the most stunning scenery and a small fishing village, which, though underplayed, was one of the most breathtaking experiences and showed us a different side of Vietnam. It was followed up by a slightly odd oyster pearl harvest tour that was probably the weakest part of the outing for us. Everything was streamlined and efficient, barely any time was wasted for waiting around. The group was perfect size when we went there in May. It was not too crowded, but there was a good energy and there were opportunities to connect with other people from other countries around the world. Additional activities for the day were squid fishing off the back of the boat at night, which was a very unique, although unsuccessful experience. On day two, it was unfortunately raining. However, that did not diminish our enjoyment much, as it was still very memorable and they provided us with rain ponchos. In the morning, we went free range kayaking as a group and then explored a cave on foot. It was the perfect length of the time and informative without being boring. A great part of this cruise is that you end up being a little further outside of the more populated tourist areas, which means slightly less pollution issues, though it was still present. Indochina Junk was known for being a little bit more environmentally friendly, which was appreciated. However, you're not allowed to bring disposable water bottles on board, so the access to clean drinking water at times is a little touch and go. And shout out to Mr. Smiley, who was the host of our trip. He's been doing it for a long time, and you can tell because he made the experience super special and spread his infectious, upbeat energy. That afternoon, after the weather cleared, was our favorite time of the trip and a unique travel experience, pulling up to a private beach barbecue dining experience. Surrounded by caves and overlooking the ocean with our toes in the sand, we couldn't have imagined a more picturesque setting to enjoy our freshly grilled meats and vegetables. Afterwards, we had a brief amount of time to enjoy the beach and lay in the sunshine, with no time delays for setup or takedown. You will love these activities if you're a more active and adventurous person and want to have a memorable trip while immersing yourself in the environment around you. If you don't want to spend as much time off the ship, or if you have young kids, it may not be ideal for you. Let's keep going to dining. The dining provided on board was beautiful with high quality, thoughtfully crafted meals, although it will not be right for everyone. It is not a traditional large cruise line style offering an all day Western buffet. There were fixed meal times provided for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but very few options in between if you either did not enjoy the provided meal or maybe have a larger appetite than the average person. There were a few choices and alterations that could be made from the existing menu. However, we did have dietary needs met for non-seafood eaters and vegetarian options, though you should mention ahead of time if you have these restrictions. It was a great opportunity to try some high-end Vietnamese food that would have not otherwise tried as tourists. Everything was super fresh. The dining room experience was very luxurious, especially the dinners hosted nightly on the outdoor deck. The waitstaff were incredibly professional and friendly, with an experience that would feel equivalent to a high-end restaurant. The atmosphere of the dining spaces was also great. On one of the days, we had a cooking demonstration and got to enjoy the meal afterwards. And we also had pre-assigned cakes brought out for one of the nights for people celebrating, as well as a large food sculpture carved by the chef. Though not for everyone, the food overall was very delicious. Now let's talk about the ship. This ship would be a good fit if you value high quality rooms and bedding. The bathrooms were spotless and had a great jacuzzi tub with a view, as well as nice linens and the most stunning windows overlooking the scenery. The ship was beautiful in build, design, and cleanliness, sporting a classic wooden design and strong Vietnamese influence. The staterooms were immaculate and looked straight out of a travel magazine or Pinterest board. Our family of five was spread between 2 rooms, with 2 in a bedroom with a queen-size bed and 3 kids in the other room with a bed and a cot. The downtime we did have outside of the activities were spent on the insanely gorgeous upper deck with sweeping views where we played cards, read, and took in the view. You could also special order drinks to the deck for an additional cost, though no snacks or food were available. You never had to fight for lounge chair space, and if you do end up on the ship, make sure you catch the sunset each night. In terms of amenities, there were a small pool, but it was not like a big international cruise line feeling as there was no gym or extra amenities on board. However, with the amount of time that you have and all the activities, we didn't really need that much. Let's discuss who this cruise is really best for. If someone does not enjoy activities, we would not overly recommend this cruise, as a lot of your time is spent quite active and busy on outings. There's not a ton of time spent lounging on the ship. However, you do get some of the evenings and sunsets spent enjoying the upper deck views. If you're looking to just kick back and relax, you could stay on the ship, though it might not be the best option as the most amazing outings and activities are a huge part of the value you're getting from this cruise. Between fairly rigorous activities including hiking, somewhat adventurous menu items, and the higher end feel of the ship, we would not necessarily recommend this specific ship to young families with kids under the age of 10. It's also a great fit if you love luxury rooms and bedding. This cruise would be a great option if you wanted to get out of the more populated tourist areas. While it is a bit more expensive than some other options out there, we found it was so worth the extra cost with all the value you get from this cruise. We personally figured that if you're going through all the effort and expense of getting there, it makes sense to put a little bit more towards having a truly memorable and immersive experience. We could not have imagined a more positive time for our family, and if it sounds like the right fit for you, we couldn't recommend it enough. We hope this helps in your decision making process as we spoke about our experience on the Dragon Legend 1, and if you do go for it, hopefully you'll have the most amazing time like we did.